What is up, bros? Josh here. In today's video, we're going over the Tier 7 Premium USN Destroyer, the USS Sims, and is it worth it? Now, this is a ship that has been a staple of mine, a solid DD for so long, but it has seen one of the biggest power creeps. It's part of one of the biggest power creeps that has hit this game, which is the detection range of destroyers over time. This is a ship that used to be one of the lowest detections for its tier, and now it's gotten to be one of the highest at its tier at 6.6 kilometers, with other ships like the Gaja, Mata, and the Haida almost out detecting this ship by a full kilometer. Now, so the USS Sims stock has dropped over time, but with the 8.0 release and the CV rework bringing lots and lots of CVs into the game, almost a consistent CV game when you're playing this, stock has really risen, and the reason being is the USN DDs having the AA consumable. Now, as we know, the Mahan, the tier 6, the Sims at tier 7, and the Kid at tier 8, these are all really clutch destroyers to have right now, and it's because of the high AA values you can get on these ships, as well as the defensive fire consumable. These are some of the only ones that in this game that really have it. There's some of the Russian ones that have it as well, but really it's kind of known for the USN line being high AA, and the destroyers at the low to mid tiers having that pocket AA consumable. So this is a fantastic DD to have right now. But is it still worth it? Is it still worth spending that tier 7 price tag on? So let's dive into the ship itself, and then we'll go over some gameplay as well and kind of show off what this ship can actually do. So 16, now let's just dive into the captain really quick before we go over everything so you know the values I'm going off of. This is a 19-point captain. It's a USN premium, so it's a line that's been around for a long time. Also, this is a ship that earns a lot of XP because it has a base XP multiplier on this ship, so you can actually get a little bit extra XP going into this, and you'll see a pretty big XP game after this is done. But 19-point captain, so you can rotate any captain on you want, especially if you have Ovechkin. It's fantastic. Priority target, last stand, survivability expert, concealment expert. That's my basic 10-point captain on nearly every destroyer in this game, and it's one I really recommend. At 14 points, I like picking up radio location, especially trying to find those DDs, hunt them down, and take them down. Now, I was never a big fan of BFT, but since the CV rework, I'm liking it more and more because it adds more to the AA, as well as just helping out with guns in general. So BFT I'm picking up at 17, and then Adrenaline Rush at 19. For modules itself, and this is something that's going to kind of surprise you guys, that's really kind of all I have for AA. I have the AA module, but other than that, that's basically all I'm running. Now, auxiliary armament mod 1, you could easily pick up aiming system or main armament mod 1. I'd probably even recommend it. Propulsion, I always rock this on destroyers. You could easily pick up the AA consumable if you want. Engine boost mod 1 if you want. This is all up to your playstyle. I like to run propulsion mod on most of my destroyers, and then the new AA system, the mod 1, you could pick up aiming systems if you really want. I recommend this just because there are lots of CVs right now. And then steering gears mod 2. For the stats itself, 16,250. Remember, that is with survivability expert, is pretty solid at this tier on the higher end. A main range of almost 13 kilometers, but your effective range is going to be much less than that because you have the USN arcs. 3-second reload time, that is with BFT. Again, it's going to get even lower with the Adrenaline Rush. And then the new torpedoes. So if you guys didn't know, this recently just got a little bit of a buff. It used to have either 5.5 or 9.2 kilometer torps, 5.5 being 65 knots, 9.2 being like super slow. We used to call them sea mines, and now they gotten buffed the 5.5s to 7, which we're using right now, and then the 9.2s to 10.5. So I chose to take the 7.7s. Now it's not too much of a buffer, 6.6 kilometer range on the detection, 7 kilometer range on the torps, but at 65 knots they're still very usable, and I'm actually having a lot of fun with these. You do lose that extra little bit of range, but you're basically going to hit more torps in general. AA, so the AA rating of 31. This is a ship that you are basically taking because it has that AA consumable, and it's really going to help you kind of buff up your AA and protect you against planes. Maneuverability, always known as being a fantastic ship, relatively fast, very agile. You will love it if you like destroyer play, if you like knife fighting. And then concealment, again, 6.6. Now let's dive into some gameplay with the USS Sims and show off what this thing can still do, even after the power creep has kind of hit it, but it's fighting back. So here we are in game with the Sims, and as you can see with the lineup, we're actually going against 2 CVs. This is pretty usual for right now, but it's something that, especially in the old days, you almost kind of wanted as a destroyer, because the Sims, how AA used to work, it could really obliterate planes, especially if you're rolling a full AA consumable, a full AA build. But even with the new one, you really can get some damage done, and really almost want to start going towards planes, if you will, because you can actually work as kind of like a cruiser and using your health pool, using your stealth, all that kind of stuff to really get into the areas where you can annoy some planes. Now obviously you do have a finite resource with your health, and you do have to be a little bit careful with losing too much. You won't see me using my sectors with the replays, but we do use our sectors all the time, and as you can see, we can already start chunking in some planes, getting some crits in, doing a lot of damage, and really kind of just shutting down the middle. If you know you're going against a Monahan that has AA, or the Sims, or the Kid, you can really be a big nuisance when it comes to CVs, and really using those sectors. Remember, I'll put a link down below for my sectors if you guys want to. It's a video going over everything. You really can be a big disturbance when it comes to this game, especially against CVs. So he knows he's not going to be able to go against me, so instead of trying to drop on me and waste some planes, he's actually went ahead to go defend his cap. But overall, we're looking at what we're going against. So the Z39 out-detects me. The Anshans both out-detect me. The Nicholas both out-detect me. But it's something that right now a lot of destroyers are really scared to actually go to caps because of so many CVs. But as a destroyer that has AA consumables and has an AA to kind of defend itself, you're not as scared. So you're willing to go in there a bit more into the danger zone, if you will, cue the song, and really kind of just get a lot of stuff done. Also, with the DD torps, now the Sims is known for fast firing torps, and with those fast firing torps, you can send them out a lot. That is one thing here, is to start pumping up some AA. And we got a little unlucky. He got a little bit close, but did get the reset on us. But again, it's something that we can really start just kind of working on a little bit and shooting some planes out of the sky, and hopefully just get this cap. Once we get this cap, we're going to try to hunt down the AA div, or not the AA div, the Anshan div. But again, kind of shooting down some more planes here and just kind of working it. Now with the destroyers, and as you see right there, there is some AA, and shoot down an entire squad instantly with one of your crits. So that's kind of the powers of the Sims, the dual threat, if you will, being this kind of AA bubble for your team. So that's going to knock that CV out for about a minute or two before he gets another squad out. So that's just kind of the power you can have even as a DD, not even a cruiser, getting a big crit and just instantly 10,000 damage on planes and shoot down six planes out of the sky. Now, one thing that was kind of a bit of a bummer when it came to this ship in the past, I actually got myself into a bit of an awkward situation, was how the torps work. Now, the torps used to be so slow that they were calling them useless is a bit too harsh, but they were basically useless, and the reason being is that they were so slow. They were the slowest torps in the game, with only like the USS Black really having some comparable style torps. These ones going at 65 knots, it's completely different. Now I'm trying to 200 IQ this right here. Well, I've started doing this a lot, and a lot of DDs have kind of fallen for it. And what I'm trying to do is, you saw I shot there to keep detected. I'm trying to get this Anshan to push forward. It's a bit of like a 200 IQ play. I'm trying to get the Anshan to push forward. He dropped that smoke. He knew he wouldn't get detected. And we ended up snagging the other Anshan with the torp. So it ended up kind of working out. But that's what we were trying to do. If you were wondering why I shot that random salvo, is because we knew the Anshan was backing up. We watched him, so we were trying to get him to push forward and get greedy. Using people's greeds against them has really shown to be very, very, very effective when it comes to playing destroyers right now, because they're popping in smoke, they're sitting there, and there's nothing they can really do. And as you saw, we actually chunked that Anshan pretty hard. That's another thing that's foreign to the Sims before this rework kind of happened. I'm saying the rework, I don't mean the CV rework. I'm saying the rework or the buff to the torps themselves. I mean, no one really used the 5.5 kilometers, because 5.5, you basically have to YOLO 5.5 kilometer torps, 6.6 kilometer range. They're basically what I would call a YOLO torp. You have to put yourself into danger just to get into a situation where you can even use them. I never liked that. So most people were using the 9.2s, which ended up, you know, just being so slow. And if you hit somebody with them, they were just, you know, if you hit somebody with them, they just didn't do any damage. So these ones being relatively fast and hitting for a decent amount of damage, it's kind of nice to have. So I thought I was going to snag this guy too. We were just off just a tad, and he was able to get just out of the way. But we'll start working him down and using those Sims guns again. 3 second reload, and these are actually Fletcher guns. These are tier 9 guns on a tier 7 ship, and if something is within your range, it's still just a nasty DD. So going against the Sanchan, he's just going to start going. We're going to try to take as little damage as we can from the glass, and we tried to tee up a double strike here. I got greedy, and my div mate ended up snagging my Anshan kill. Gosh darn him! But we almost had a double kill, so that would have been kind of cool. But as you see, double DD's down, that's awesome. Cruiser down, that's awesome. Then we're going to start working down the C-39 and try to figure out what the next situation is. Because if you look at the situation with caps right now, I want to go get this cap. I want to take care of this cap, but I want to get that DD out because my double Scharnhorst, we already lost one of our Scharnhorst, kind of stunk. But my Scharnhorst, I want to protect him from the Z-39, just spamming torps at him. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Do I want to go over there? I have the ability to find him. I have the speed to find him. I have the guns to find him. But is it worth my time? And I figured no. Now this was a misplay right here. Just kind of, I guess I'm kind of breaking down my play as well. What I should have done is actually smoked on the cap. I always yell at people when they do this, so I'm yelling at myself. I should have just smoked on the cap, as you saw it look brag just for a brief second, and tried to get into the cap, but my smoke was going to keep going. So this is a bit of a misplay by me. But again, having fast reloading torps is something that the Sims has always had, so you basically see me almost shooting these. As long as something's relatively close to being in range, you'll always see me launching torps as soon as they're up. So, and I wish I would have been able to do a torp on this guy, because I spent a little bit of time on something else. And but still, Sims working the main battery, working the guns, working those torpedoes, and of course still working those planes. As you see, the planes, the CVs are kind of ignoring me right now, trying to avoid me because they know that they're going to get wrecked if they get too close. And that's one downside. As I said, it has almost a 13-kilometer range, but you're not going to be hitting anything at 13 kilometers unless they're absolutely stationary, and also using the heck out of that long USN smoke. I've been playing so many Royal Navy destroyers, been playing the rank sprint, and not rank sprint, normal rank, arms race, and I forgot just how long these smokes are. They last forever, and it's awesome. So down he's gonna go, and rode up to 40k, which isn't too bad in the first 8 minutes, shooting down some planes, and we'll get this kill, and then we can take this cap. So we'll back right in, no big deal. Their one DD is way on the J line. Their other German destroyer is over there, so we really don't have to worry about too much. And I was kind of worried that we're going to lose both of our DDs, or both of our CVs. But I figured if 2 Rangers could kind of work on that Farragut, we'd kind of be all right. And we kind of worked for this. So my biggest threat, going for the destroyer. The Sims, still a fantastic DD. Although the Z-39 is still going to out-detect me, it's still having a situation where I can still find him with radiolocation. And again, as you saw, I have the AA consumable in my back pocket, ready to defend my my battleship, and ready to kind of just get in there and shoot down all those planes. Still, though, trying to find the right spot to attack. And right now, I'm kind of looking at where their battleships and everything are going. Sadly, this destroyer is kind of putting a bit of a bummer on my party, because right now I'm thinking of going towards the CVs and going for the CVs. If I can do that, kill both of their CVs and get that done, we're in a really good spot. Although I don't want to completely overextend. If I do that, then I have to die. Again, I'm not fully AA'd out. I don't have AFT. I don't have manual. I don't have all these extra bonuses. This is purely what you're seeing right here. This is purely BFT and that AA module. That is it. I'm not running anything else. So that was actually one thing that kind of surprised me too. I do have the consumable. That's something that I would just bring anyways and just have anyways. Always bring in the premium one as well. And I actually almost took a random torpedo. It was almost a 200 IQ drop. But this is just, you'll see me shooting on planes. It's purely just with those 2 things, BFT and that module. So it's actually pretty solid. Now, as you see right now, I have the clear. I have the hero play, and that hero play is going towards the CVs. We have the Colorado way on the A line. We have the Scharnhorst going around the actual rock, and I figured I can probably gun down a Pensacola if need be, if I have a little support from my team. And I think we're just gonna go make it happen, especially because I want to watch that DD too. That Z39 dies, then we'll be actually pretty solid. But still watching that too, the Colorado, because I do have the speed of the Sims to flex back if needed. You can see in the bottom left corner where I have the sectors. So I have the sectors on my right side right now, shooting down those planes with a 5.8 kilometer range. And there we go, there's the first CV. So I figured if I can just push straight this way, I can really be a pain in the ass for these guys, because one, it'll make both CVs focus. Like we're kind of up, but not really. I mean, we're up on caps, we're down on points, we're up on one ship, but just a drop here or there can really kind of rotate it around. And here we start the actual work, and knocking on a plane there too, and a couple planes, and you got a decent little drop on there. You got the fire, which is a bit of a bummer, but we're gonna start working towards doing a bunch of damage. Now, I don't want to go towards those two battleships. I don't want to make it as easy for them as possible. We're just gonna start causing mayhem for these guys. If we can do that, then we're really good. Knocking out another plane, no big deal. And now he doesn't have a rep, so which is really, really good. And as you see, I run priority target, and no one's focusing me. That's amazing. I love it. They're just letting me do what I want. So ripple fire to death if we can get that kill. And we got a little support right there too. And I'm just kind of pushing because I want to get into torp range if I can. This is basically like a kamikaze mission for me. I figure I'm going to do as much damage as I can. Nice little snag right there, but we're going to be all right. Ranger killed the Colorado, so that whole side of the map is open. And still, nobody's focusing on me. And actually, the destroyer's going to push into me, so this is even better. So as I'm going to work on the CVs, the DD's actually making my life a little easier. We're 2 kills already. And there's the CV right there. 2 kills already, and if we can snag him, we're basically sitting pretty. And right now, both these CVs are going to have to spend the rest of their game focusing on me. We have the A consumable going now. Did just lose in New York, not too crazy. And if I can kill this, right now, we have both CVs going towards one destroyer. This is the best situation we can kind of have. As we shred one of the squads, nothing they could do. He misses his drop, nothing he can do. This is pretty damn good right now, and if we can get a little bit more damage on the CV, then we're pretty solid. So this is kind of showing the strength of this destroyer, and actually you'll see a little bit of weakness right here, but this is just the caliber of the shell actually, and that is the range is going to be kind of angling away the semi-armored deck, so going to be a lot of shatters running this way. Now I don't run inertia fuse on this, I feel like it's still not needed. We basically pen this CV no matter what. And as you saw right here too, I just went neutral when I got into like this really knife fighting situation. I just went neutral on my AA sector. I feel like that's really, really good for people to get used to using their AA sectors, both left, right, and neutral. It's extremely strong. It's just a straight up bonus. And if you're a DD player, you should be really getting used to it. I do have to worry about the torps right here, so that's one thing you see me kind of switch targets, and of course repairing or setting a fire. If you ever heard me on stream, obviously we play all these games on stream, you'll hear me call or hear me say forcing a repair. And what I'm trying to do is, a lot of people, obviously not everybody, but so many people that we know and so many players that we know just repair one fire, and so I call that forcing a repair. And this is another thing right here, I have useful torps. So what I mean by that is my torps used to be so slow that I doubt I would even hit those torps on that Scharnhorst. But guess what? Since they're going 65 knots, I definitely do. And so down goes that Sharny as well. And there's our Kraken, there's our Confederate, and we're just kind of making it GG easy. Also trying to get a little bit more damage on that DD and then push towards the Ryujo. So I think we get a little unlucky here, but like, just look at how much we were able to kind of bully this team with this destroyer. Like, this situation and being this effective is something that I don't think I could do with any other tier 7 DD. Being able to, 1, fend off this many planes, 2, fend off that many ships and pump out that much damage with guns. I just don't think there's a ship at tier 7 that would have been able to do this. So you kind of have heard me praising this ship the entire time, and it's probably just an easy thing to guess, but is the Sims worth it? Oh, hell yeah. The Sims obviously went through a bit of a, the stock fell, as I used the analogy earlier, the stock fell, and that's for sure. With the, you know, it still has always been a good ship, but the ship itself, though, kind of got power crept. We've seen that really, really heavy on Tier 7. Tier 7 is the worst power crept destroyer tier in the entire game, and the Sims has definitely felt that over time. But with the CV rework, and I would say almost guaranteeing you having a Tier 7 CV or Tier 6 or some kind of CV in every game, you are definitely going to be happy that you are playing this destroyer that has this ability. I mean, anything with an AA consumable is at a prime right now, and really there's just nothing these CVs can do. We actually juke this drop right here. There's our high cal, and bam, he misses us. So heck yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna be able to kind of work this down, do a little bit more damage. He's got his planes, but that's all right as long as we just keep pushing towards. And we got a little lucky right there, no big deal. And he misses 2 drops too, so we can't be mad at that. There's our 6th kill. Now he will get his revenge on us, but 2 of our CVs, and we can't do anything about this. Feels bad, but still shooting down planes at the last second. But anyways, 2 Rangers versus a battleship to end the game. And as you see, a pretty damn good game. Almost 135,000 damage. Look at those credits. Look at that XP. 317 main target hits, 4 torp hits, 28 planes, 6 kills. Now, obviously, this was a pretty good game. But really, like, these kind of situations aren't out of the ordinary for Sims. Now, when I'm doing a lot of these videos, or are they worth it? I'm very honest on situations where like the Sim or like that type of ship excels in certain situations. When the Prince Otto Frederick strives in certain situations, but the ship itself is not very good overall. You need to get into those situations. The Sims is always good, even if you get into one of those rare games where the Sims itself isn't shooting down planes the entire game and just causing havoc. It's still a good destroyer. It's not as strong as it used to be, but it's still extremely good. I highly recommend this ship, especially if you like gunboat DDs, kind of that knife fight DDs. And right now, it's just even stronger having those better torps overall, those 7-kilometer torps. But good damage there, 135k, almost 1 million credits. We were all flagged out, so 1 million credits, 6 kills. I mean, just a nice balance game. And then look at that base XP, 3,300 base XP. I think we had almost as many planes as both of their CVs put together, so that's not too bad. And we're able to kind of clear the skies a little bit. The most planes on our team for sure, so that's always awesome being in a destroyer. And look at that base XP, that's awesome. So overall, just good damage on everything. And this isn't a game that's crazy to have with the Sims because of just how good it kind of is at everything right now. So if you are looking for a Tier 7, especially a USN destroyer to kind of pick up right now, especially after the 8.0 rework, anything with A is awesome. So the Sims still gets my 2 thumbs up. I'm glad to see this kind of grow in strength as it's coming back. Having the AA consumable right now is just a premium, and so being on the USN line and having that, especially as a trainer too, is fantastic. And having that base XP multiplier just for XP in general is also fantastic. Getting that free XP too for all those ships, and the Alaska when it eventually comes if you're trying to get that. So it's an awesome ship. But anyways, Tier 7 destroyer, I think it's definitely worth it, boys. It's Tier 7. The price will be kind of low, so you can always pick it up when it's on sale too, but it's definitely worth it in my opinion. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the USS Sims, and do you like it? Do you enjoy it? And how do you feel after the CV rework, having this thing in your back pocket? That's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.